Welcome back, friends. This is Thursday of Passover week, the week of Passion Week, last week of Jesus' earthly ministry. And we're going to look at Mark chapter 14, verses 32 through 34. Now, Thursday was the day they celebrated the Passover. It was a very busy day of preparation for the Passover. It was a busy day. The Passover meal itself was 4, 5, 6 hours. And then, of course, it extends into the night as Jesus goes to the Garden of Gethsemane to pray just hours before going to the cross. And so let's read from the scriptures. And it says, they went to a place called Gethsemane. And he said to his disciples, sit here while I pray. And he took with him Peter and James and John and began to be greatly distressed and troubled. And he said to them, my soul is very sorrowful, even to death. Remain here and watch. And going a little further, he fell on the ground and prayed that if it were possible, the hour might pass from him. And he said, Abba, Father, all things are possible for you. Remove this cup from me, yet not what I will, but you will. Jesus is just hours from the cross. Judas is on his way to betray him, and Jesus kneels in a garden, and of course it's kind of hard to find a garden in Mesquite, but a nice little grove of trees here over by the golf course. And I think about Jesus' anxiety that night. He wasn't anxious about dying. He was anxious about the hour and the cup. The hour of bearing mankind's sin. The cup, symbolic, Old Testament symbolism of God's judgment on mankind. He was becoming the sin-bearing sacrifice for mankind. His whole being revolted against it because he was so pure and holy and godly. The last thing he wanted was to know sin like we know sin, and yet he surrendered his will to God's will. And that's why we so often pray, not my will be done, but your will be done. We emulate Christ, who surrendered what he wanted in his flesh for the will of God, which was our salvation. What a beautiful lesson for us today. May you and I and all of us together focus on surrendering our wills to the Lord every day. And thankfully he did, because he bore that cup of wrath for us so that we could be forgiven of our sins. Till tomorrow, God bless you. Have a great day.